Okay, let's talk about that jewelry box. You know the one. It's probably full of pieces you never wear anymore, right? An old gift, maybe a family heirloom, or something you bought that just isn't your style now. Well, guess what? You could literally be sitting on a pile of cash. So in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how to turn that forgotten jewelry into real money in your pocket. I mean, really think about it for a second. That old engagement ring, that necklace from an ex, the watch that's been sitting there for years, is it just clutter taking up space, or is it a hidden asset waiting to be discovered? I think you know the answer. It's almost definitely hidden cash. So, where do you even begin? Well, before you think about where to sell, there's one really fundamental question you have to ask yourself, and your answer is going to determine the exact path you should take. It all comes down to this. What is your number one priority? And here it is. It all boils down to this single trade-off, speed versus price. Are you in a situation where you need cash in your hand, like by the end of the day? Or are you willing to wait a little bit longer to get the absolute maximum value for your item? Your answer right here is the key. It unlocks the perfect selling method for you. All right, let's dive into the first path. Let's say getting the maximum price is your goal. You've got a valuable piece, a nice diamond ring, a designer watch, and you're not in a huge rush. This is absolutely the route for you. We're talking about getting top dollar. A fantastic example of this is an online marketplace like Worthy.com. Their entire model is built to maximize what you get back. See, instead of selling to just one buyer, they put your jewelry up for auction to a whole network of over 1,000 professional buyers. And you know what happens then, right? When you have that many experts all competing for your item, that final price just gets driven up and up. And the best part? The whole process is surprisingly hands-off for you. You just ship your item to them, and by the way, that's free and fully insured. Then they handle all the prep work. We're talking professional cleaning, really high-quality photos, and running the auction itself. After it sells, you get paid. The whole thing, from the moment they get your item, usually only takes about 10 to 14 business days. So what kind of stuff does best here? Well, think high-value items. Diamond jewelry, of course, branded watches, your Rolexes, your Cartiers, and designer pieces from places like Tiffany's. Oh, and here's a really key detail. It's actually okay if your jewelry is broken or incomplete, but for watches, they do need to be in working condition. Good to know. Now, of course, there are also the traditional in-person auction houses. They can also connect you with a global network of bidders, for sure. Just a heads up, their fees and commission structures can be a little complex, so you really want to make sure you understand exactly how much you'll be taking home before you commit to anything. Okay, but what if you're the type of person who wants to be in the driver's seat? You know, if you'd rather manage the entire process yourself, from taking the photos and writing the listing all the way to setting the final price, then the DIY route is definitely for you. So let's take a quick look at the three biggest DIY platforms. You've got eBay, the giant, which is perfect for a huge variety of newer jewelry. But listen, your photos have to be absolutely top-notch. Then there's Etsy, which is the go-to for anything vintage or handmade. It has a built-in audience that's actively looking for unique stuff. And if you want to sell locally, you really can't beat Facebook Marketplace. Just a little pro tip, price your item a little high because people are going to expect to haggle. And hey, don't underestimate the potential of selling it yourself. The author of one of our sources actually reported making over $5,000 just from selling their old items on Facebook Marketplace. That is real money, and it just goes to show what's possible with a little bit of effort. And you know, if you're thinking even bigger, like maybe starting your own side hustle or a full-on business, you could even build your own online store using a platform like Shopify. That gives you total control over your pricing and your brand, and you don't have to worry about those marketplace fees. All right, on to our third and final path. What if you just don't have the time to wait for an auction or manage a DIY listing? What if you need cash and you need it now? Well, this is what we call the need for speed route. So a common first stop is a local, reputable jewelry store. And the appeal is obvious, right? You can walk in with your item and walk out with cash that very same day. But here's the trade-off. You're selling to a retailer who has to make a profit, so their offer is almost certainly going to be below the item's full appraisal value. So if you do choose this route, you've got to go in prepared. First, do your homework. Only visit stores that have a solid reputation and good reviews. Second, and this one is so crucial, get an independent appraisal beforehand. This gives you your baseline. It tells you what your item is actually worth. And third, always be ready to negotiate. Their first offer is almost never their best offer. Now, for the absolute fastest cash possible, there's the pawn shop. It is, without a doubt, the quickest and easiest option out there. However, and this is a really critical point, they will also offer you the lowest prices. It's just their business model. They have to buy low enough so they can resell for a profit later. And our source material puts it pretty bluntly with this direct warning. So the key takeaway is this: a pawn shop is a totally legitimate option if you're in a serious bind and need money immediately. But you just have to go in accepting that you are going to get significantly less than what your item is truly worth. Okay, this is important. No matter which in-person route you decide to take, whether that's selling on Facebook Marketplace or going to a local jeweler, your personal safety is everything. So let's quickly go over some non-negotiable rules. First, always meet in a busy, public place, like a coffee shop or even the lobby of a police station. Never, ever at your home. Second, bring a friend with you whenever you can. Third, do not let that jewelry out of your sight. Keep a close eye on it while they're inspecting it to prevent any scams. And finally, just be aware of your surroundings and trust your gut. If something feels off, walk away. It's not worth it. So, you see, it all comes back to that very first question we asked. The best way to sell your jewelry depends entirely on you and your situation. Do you want to maximize the price you get? Do you want total control over the sale from start to finish? Or do you just need that cash as fast as humanly possible? So maybe it's time to go take another look inside that old jewelry box. With all these options in mind, you can start to see those pieces not as forgotten clutter, but as what they really are: untapped potential. So the only question left is, which path are you going to choose?